Alright guys, with the brand new season, we actually received a brand new warlock exotic that we now have access to, and that exotic is none other than the Fallen Sunstar. This exotic is very cool looking with the arc pulsing out of its head, but this has the exotic trait Ionic Conductor. Ionic traces you create move faster and grant you additional ability energy. Nearby allies also gain ability energy when you collect an Ionic trace. So the perk is pretty easy to understand. You get extra ability energy and the Ionic traces move faster to you. If we take a look at the ability energy difference, when you pick up one Ionic trace, you get about 20% of your cooldown back. But then if you have this exotic helmet equipped, you're actually going to receive around 30% of your energy back, which means it'll only take 3 Ionic traces to get a full ability back. Now, also, if we take a look at the speed, you can see it does actually travel a lot faster, which is going to be really nice paired with a bunch of Arc 3.0 things. Namely, the first thing to note is the Delicate Tomb. This exotic weapon is based all around collecting Ionic traces, so the faster they can get to you, the more you can buff this weapon, and this thing can go on a rampage. Now, obviously, there's a lot of ways you can generate Ionic traces. You have your fragments like Spark of Ion, so you defeat a jolted target, you create an Ionic trace. You also have Spark of Discharge, Arc Weapon Final Blows have a chance to create an Ionic trace. And since you are on a Warlock, you also have Electrostatic Mines. So killing an enemy with an ability or killing an enemy with any Arc debuff verb, wow, that was a mouthful, will also spawn an Ionic trace. And you even have seasonal mods like Trace Evidence, so defeating combatants affected by Arc debuffs spawns Ionic traces. And on top of that, the Delicate Tomb also spawns Ionic traces. So you can have a bunch of Ionic traces everywhere, and then obviously this helmet is going to buff all of them by making them move faster and give you more energy. So the competitor to the Fallen Sunstar is for sure the Crown of Tempest. So with the Crown of Tempest, you get a bunch of arc ability energy back when you get arc ability kills or jolt kills. It is very, very strong. The difference is Fallen Sunstar just gives you that big chunk of energy, and honestly, Fallen Sunstar seems to be competing with it very, very well. The only difference is Fallen Sunstar is more of a team-based exotic, whereas Crown of Tempest is a more solo player exotic. All the energy you get from this is just for you, and you actually get additional super energy, whereas Fallen Sunstar, the Ionic traces will not generate you super energy, but instead, when you pick those Ionic traces up, you will also give all your teammates stability energy, which is very, very good. If you're playing a support-based Warlock and you're spawning a bunch of Ionic traces with a build like this, you can literally just fill your teammates' abilities up as well as yours at the same time. And just to show how strong this can be, I did set up a small build just to show how strong it could be. This is definitely not a full fleshed out build, and it can get better. So if we actually just take a look at the build really quick, I am going to be running Spark of Beacon so my arc weapons can blind enemies, Spark of Resistance so when I'm surrounded I will get some damage reduction, which is good for melee, Spark of Discharge so my arc weapon final blows have a chance to generate Ionic traces, and Spark of Frequency so melee hits increase your reload speed. I will change this out for Spark of Ions when I get it. Obviously Electrostatic Mun and Arc Soul, because Arc Soul can also generate Ionic traces when they get kills. Now for mods, I am going to be running Heavy Handed just so whenever I use my melee ability, I will get half of my melee energy back. Then also the second part, while surrounded, you basically generate ammo when you get kills with your fusion rifle, which is really, really good paired with Delicate Tomb because you can just have infinite ammo for it. I'm going to be running melee well maker, so whenever I get a melee kill, I will also spawn a well. I will be running elemental charge, so when I pick up that elemental well, I become charger light, which then will obviously proc heavy handed, so you get half of your ability energy back. Now also I'm going to be running bountiful well, so I will spawn 2 melee wells. This essentially copies all your mods that make wells, and if you only have one, you just spawn an additional one, so that's really, really good. Then I'm also going to be running Seeking Well, so whenever I spawn elemental wells, they will track to me just like the Ionic traces do. And as you see in the gameplay, getting one melee kill with all of this combined together gives you your melee back instantly. It literally never has a cooldown. You can always run up and use it, and if you run things like Ball Lightning while you're amplified, it actually will strike 3 times, so you can pretty much guarantee yourself a kill. And it's really, really strong, honestly. I don't think this is the best build in the game. I do think you can make other stuff better. But if you are running a specific Ionic trace build, this is really, really good. And if you want to play a support-based build, this is also really good for that, to give all your team ability energy. If you are running Delicate Tomb, this is very good for that because you're going to be spawning Ionic traces everywhere that are essentially buffed, which is really, really good for Delicate Tomb because, again, you get all the buffs from it when you pick Ionic trace up. For this build, if you do want to copy it, again, this isn't like a fully fleshed out build, but I am running 100 resilience and 100 strength so I can get my melee back as possible and be very tanky. But this video was to show off more so how the exotic works and the potential it can have. But I hope I did explain that well. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments below. And if you guys enjoy and like to see more content just like this, consider subscribing, dropping a like, and turn those notifications on. Also, if you'd like to join my Discord or follow me on any of my socials, all of those will be linked in the description as well. But just know watching this video is way more than enough. Every single bit of support from you all is truly appreciated. But thank you all so much for watching this one, and have a great day. Peace.